As you can see, there's a lot of talk about rape and sexual assault in the news cycles today. And a lot of this is being pushed by feminist groups. And a lot of this is good. And very bad at the same time, for a variety of reasons. This is exactly what I warned was going to happen back when I was talking about the Cosby allegations. When we make the media the new court through which we run all allegations, old and new, true or false. The good is the obvious. Hollywood is a cesspool of miscreants, sex offenders, and pedophiles. We've known this. And a lot of these people live their lives and never have a bad word said about them in the media. These people live as untouchables. But finally, this is starting to get some attention. There's a paradigm shift that I kept mentioning in other videos that is about to unfold. And we're starting to see the results of that. Many of the things people have done in the dark are going to come to light. However, don't be fooled by all these spectacles. These people are still relatively low on the totem pole, and they're being sacrificed. The real untouchables keep themselves out of focus. However, they've moved the line back, or up, I should say, and more people in positions of power are on notice. That's a good thing. The bad thing is that through this good wave, they get to fulfill a lot of their covert agendas, going after targeted people, and also making things that wouldn't normally be criminal become criminal. And one of those orchestrated, targeted individuals that they started out with so ferociously before this wave was, of course you know I'm going to say it, Bill Cosby. Back when that all started, I knew I was called to that issue, and it was a prototype and precursor to more things to come. I knew then something was wrong and the information that they were telling us was fraudulent. Some of us warned about this and now we're going further in. I don't care how many people still mindlessly believe this. And most people still do. History confirms truth doesn't need majority opinion. Regardless, myself and many others tried to warn people to stop listening to the media shills and celebrity agents, grandstanding and laying it on thick. It was an orchestrated agenda and there was plans for this. They've made everyone believe something without due process or the existence of any evidence. And the accusers have been getting caught in lies. Nobody cares. People were warning, stop letting the media dictate your reality. Look at the facts and the evidence and think. Couldn't do it. Even if you're someone that just believes rumors and you thought he was guilty anyway, you still shouldn't have rode this wave because it was unconstitutional. And you don't punish and launch smear campaigns without any evidence and inconsistent stories. Everyone was brainwashed by the media and did it anyway. And now they have what they wanted. A new precedent is normalized and intact. They know how to manipulate your energy and keep you lost in the dark. And they have a way of masking things to keep you thinking you're on the side of good. So the good thing? A lot of bad guys and offenders are going to go down. But don't be naive. Also, a lot of innocent targeted people, agendas, and ulterior motives will be slipped in too. I mentioned it before. Was he a sacrificial lamb? After Cosby was railroaded, Ailes and O'Reilly were exposed. And then all of a sudden, a whole slew of people were getting called out, one by one, and it kept going. Let's talk about the logistics of some of these things. Now, do I believe some of these allegations coming out in the news? Yes, but with a little bit of a caveat. Louis C.K., for example, openly admitted some of his transgressions. But currently, the biggest, most reviled, accused offender now is clearly Harvey Weinstein. And it's safe to say a lot of what we heard about him, unfortunately, is true. To my knowledge, he also hasn't denied anything. There's even a very chilling recording of him antagonizing a young female, and it's very disturbing. Yeah, there's not much you can say about that. Kevin Spacey also admitted his, and he apologized for it. And it's pretty dastardly because his involved a minor. Again, he admitted it. Terry Crews came forward about being groped by a male Hollywood exec. Russell Simmons also got accused. George Takei was also accused of groping a male in the 80s and trying to sleep with him when he was inebriated. Veteran journalist Charlie Rose also got bagged for sexual misconduct back in the day with ladies. Now here's where I draw the line and explain more of the bad side of things that I was really trying to tell people with the Cosby situation. This is now a working formula. and they tried to take the show on the road, and most people just didn't realize it. For example, they went after R. Kelly. R. Kelly was an easy target because of his reputation and past. But I'm sorry, I don't get sold on BS very easy. In his latest brush with news, the man didn't do anything. People are so easily influenced by agendas and guided by the media, and it's exasperating. We watch them literally make something out of absolutely nothing. Yes, he has issues, but really, what did he do that Elvis didn't do? What did he do that Jerry Lee Lewis didn't do? The media led liars fabricating stories right onto the news. Now everybody's banning his records and all sorts of nonsense. That was easy. They even went after Usher. They brought a pathological liar onto the news, who lots of people knew was a pathological liar, but the liar was still able to hook up with high-powered lawyer Lisa Bloom, who gladly took the case and held her up before the media for sympathy. But they discovered lots of issues, like the fact that Usher would have to have herpes in order to give her herpes. And actually, she would have to have herpes. At any rate, at some point they realized they couldn't clean this one up, and they just kind of dropped it out of the news. So even though many people may think this Me Too wave is a good thing, you have to be vigilant, because the people who control the media always have something up their sleeve. And even when it seems that they're doing some good, they're probably slipping in lots of agendas. And because we should not have allowed what happened with Cosby, whether you're for or against him, look at the news cycles now. This is chaos. We can't do this. Even though some of these allegations are coming forward with the right intentions, this is not the right way for this to go down. We've now created a new normal where police investigations are last or eventual sometime later. Things we should do are discouraged, and everything is about strategically getting things on TV, covertly tied to an agenda. There are a lot of real allegations coming forward, but there are a lot of fake ones too. There are always opportunists who jump on these waves. The Cosby formula has been normalized, and now it's a loaded weapon. It's slowly oozing its way into politics. They're going after Republicans, like Roy Moore. They're going after Democrats, like Al Franken. Allegations here, allegations there, allegations everywhere. Allegations, rape. In addition to all that's going on already, this is another element added to the freak show. As more laws and human rights are being completely bypassed, society is crumbling into more chaos and madness, and you are being made to believe that this is some sort of progress. I warned in a blog and a video that a lot of poetic justice is on its way, and that modern feminism that is surging in popularity has been very instrumental in causing division, confusion, and chaos. Look at the lunatics people were listening to. Outspoken feminist, who Stylist magazine is referring to as a feminist icon, Lena Dunham, was all over Cosby when his allegations came out, and there was lots of evidence that a lot of the women were lying. It didn't stop her from ranting anti-Cosby rhetoric. She was running the very ignorant, just believe the women narrative. But then when her friend affiliated with her show caught a rape allegation, she doubted the claim and defended him, and is now going through a backlash. Now, if she had said from jump, Cosby's situation included, I wasn't there, I don't know what happened, and I hope that justice is served, she would not really be in so bad of a place. But unfortunately, Dunham has a consistent history of making a public ass of herself. It doesn't matter what group or ideology becomes popular. The side of wrong will always be shown up for what it is. Eventually, people are going to be hesitant to have any kind of human contact with people. People are going to have to walk with their phones, recording statements, living life, covering their bases. I don't like rape or rapists any more than the next person. But in a society, you have to uphold laws and protocol. You have to promote and encourage personal responsibility, because right now, it's almost as if people want to be victims. There is no more class and integrity. There is no more just leaving things in the past and moving on, especially when the decision to leave it in the past had already been made, and especially regarding situations where we may not have been our best decision-making selves either. There is no more following the laws and legal protocol and reporting crimes as they happen. The way things are going, it's a wild free-for-all. If you recall something you don't like 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago, come on forward and go on TV. We cannot make this normal for future generations because it's not normal. Instead of encouraging victimhood and lionizing it, we should be encouraging future generations to practice accessing their own personal power. It is true, sometimes people get taken advantage of in situations they couldn't control. But aside from those situations, we always have the power of choice. No one's too big and too powerful and we can't do anything. You're in a matrix, and that is an illusion that you have to psychologically agree to and surrender your personal power to. We decide our destinies, and we are in control of our own narratives at all times. Instead of lionizing victimhood, we should help people remember that. And if something happens, we should be encouraging people to report the crime when it happened, even though for emotional or psychological reasons it might be difficult. And being proactive about it immediately stops the person from harming anyone else. Getting lawyers, going to the media, or trying to win lawsuits should not be the first stop for real victims. Now look at this. Charlie Rose confessed and admitted to some of the allegations, but he's also alleging that some of the stuff isn't true. There are some lies and exaggerations slipping through. In the case of Al Franken, he also admitted to some wrongdoing and apologized. But there are also some things he's defending himself on, and there's things coming out about the woman and her motives, and a tit-for-tat back-and-forth battle going through the media. This is crazy. We could dial back our efforts just a little bit with creating prolonged sympathy campaigns for alleged victims of 1975 and focus on the here and now and the future. So again, victims should be encouraged to report the incident within the 10-year statute of limitations, and then a proper police investigation should run its course. If for whatever reason or reasons that is not done, that's a decision. People who don't understand law or how it protects all of us are screwing it up because of emotion. No one should have the right or the power to point a finger at any given moment of someone's life decades later and be given credence and benefit of the doubt through the media. Period. And end of story. That's why out of a lot of these allegations, Terry Crews should be commended. He did it the right way. As soon as it happened, he said something. That was a very courageous move. He risked his career. He didn't know what would happen, but he discussed it with his wife, came forward and reported it because it was the right thing to do. He did not choose to blindside the man with a smear campaign and a random lawsuit 3 decades later. Risking his standing in Hollywood, he came forward and made sure there were no other victims after him. That is what you do. Other than that, be careful with riding media waves. They don't just report news to give us information. There's always agendas and things they're trying to do. Never blindly trust what you see and hear. The world is run by secret groups, and sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Sometimes these things are true, and sometimes they're not. And sometimes there's smokescreens or distractions. So never give your energy over to these things too quickly. Keep your head clear and brace yourself. These days, it's safe to say that there's probably a lot more Hollyweird revelations on its way.